Hello, fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today with a project. This is a project that I've kind of had in the works for a while. Of course, there were some bumps along the way. I'll be sharing those, but I wanted to get started on this. I don't know how long this test is going to take me, so the beginning of the video is likely going to be filmed at a different time than the end, so please bear with me. So one of the things that I have wanted to try for a while is what I call tray tower method. I don't know if that's what it's actually called. I don't know if other people are calling it different things, but that's what I'm calling it. So as many of you know, a while ago during an Etsy haul, I got some cat-proof diamond painting trays. And they come with a flexible lid. They came with a pour spout. My only thing was it was a left-hand pour spout. They have since shifted over to right-hand pour spouts. And so I decided that I wanted to use these trays because I like them so much. I wanted to use them for my tray tower method. So what I was going to do in my head, how it was going to work was that I would order a tray tower thing from Amazon. I was going to get, this was a gift to me from my husband, trays so that I could try them all out. And then I would kit up a painting and I would see if this method is faster. And I know a lot of people like the Bella trays. The Bella trays are great. If you want to use those for this method, feel free. They 3D print towers. They have trays with lids as well. I just like the cat proof, and so I decided that's what I was going to do. So I contacted Cat Proof. I will stick a link to them down below and asked them if they would send me, how many kits did I order? Let me look at my thing here because it's been so long now I can't remember. I ordered 20 trays from them thinking that that would be enough. I didn't want to do like a 60 color painting. I thought that would be too much for just my experiment. So I thought, I'll do it with one of my smaller paintings where I'm going to have, 20-ish colors. I have enough other extra trays floating around that if I wanted to do that, I could do that. So I contacted them and said, can I do like a bulk order? Because I wanted to pick the colors that I wanted. And they were very gracious, said, sure, let us know what you want. I placed the order. She sent me an email with my invoice. I paid it and I got my trays. So I ordered 10 white because I like having the white ones. I like being able to see my dark colored drills, and with dark colored trays, those don't work for me. I got 5 pink for the same reason. I already had one pink one and I really liked it. And then I got 5 blue for some of those lighter colors. So I'm not going to unwrap all 20 of them. You can see here that I have all of these lovely now right-hand pour diamond painting trays. So this one, these look to be all blues, and I'm in love with this stretchy paper. I don't know where this came from, but I save it because I put it in my random acts of kindness as well. So I've got all these trays here. So I've got 20 of these trays. These all happen to be blue, but I've got white and pink as well. I'll just use this one as my pink example. So I got my trays, and while I was waiting for those to be printed and sent to me, I went on to Amazon and I bought my little tower, and I'll stick a link down to it below. And it's very easy to assemble. It comes all flat packed, and it's like a little IKEA thing, and you just assemble it, right? So you assemble the top, the bottom, the sides, the back, and then you put in all of these little slots, right? And it has, I think, 32, if I counted correctly. These just slide in here. You can hear they're very tight, but they just slide in, so you can slide them out. So that would be 32. Now, there's no dividers on the top, but you could probably fit another 2 up there, and then these down here. And they do go in on an angle so that your trays slide in and they're not just going to fall out. Now, one of the reasons I hadn't tried this method before now was because, well, a couple of reasons. I am very clumsy, reason number 1. 2, I didn't have enough trays with lids that I thought I could do this viably to do a viable test. Hence my order of the cat-proof trays, because they come with lids. And with my other trays, my Bella trays and other things, I thought I would have enough to do a smallish diamond painting, maybe a 30 by 30, 30 by 40, where I would have around 20-ish colors and just test out the method. So I got this, and then after we got it all put together, I'm like, okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 slots times 4. That gives me 36. Now on the top, you can see there's no divider here, so it would just be 2 trays sitting next to each other, but I was okay with that. And so I was like, okay, my trays arrived. This came in just a couple of days because it's Amazon, and I got it all put together, and then I put it aside until my trays arrived. And I'm super excited, and I start putting my trays in the slots, and I'm going along, and then I go to put them in the next row and go, oh, I'm an idiot. I didn't measure the size of these. I was just sure that they were going to fit in here. Now, and this is no fault of Cat Proof at all. This is me not measuring. I don't know if my Bella trays will fit in here either. I should go grab one and test that. But even if I take off the lid, they don't fit. So my husband and I, he's laughing because of course I didn't measure. And so our solution was, well, let's just take one of these out, every other one, right? So then I still have, hoping that I would still have around 20. I don't know exactly how I need to take this out. It's been a while since I looked at it. But anyway, so I need to take these out if I want to use those trays. While I'm thinking about it, let me go grab a Bella tray. I'll be right back. Okay, so I grabbed a couple of my Bella trays. I've got a small one with the new design with the stopper. It actually fits, but it falls down in there quite a bit. So I don't know if I want to use that or not. I've got a couple of these larger ones. Ooh, and they do actually fit. So maybe I need to go Bella tray shopping. I think I've got 2 or 3 of this size, but I can use them in addition to my Cat Proof trays. So they would fit in here. Yeah, I'm going to have to think about that. I don't have enough Bella trays that I could do all of these, but I think between a mismatch of the Cat Proof, the Bella, and then I also have a ton of these just cheap ones that come with your kits laying around. These I thought, even though they don't hold very many drills, would be good because they've got kind of this handle I can hang on to pull things in and out. All right, the fact that the Bella ones in here kind of fit in here kind of fried my brain. Where am I at? Okay, I want to take out every other one so I've got room for my Cat Proof trays just so I can do a test. I know Bella sells the towers that perfectly fit their trays, and I may go that route if I decide that this works for me. I don't know if Cat Proof sells towers. I'll have to look on their Etsy shop and see if they do. If they do, I'll put something across the screen that says yes or no. Anyway, so I'm going to be testing this method out. I'll let you know once I actually start the test how I end up configuring things and what I end up doing. But I have enough trays, you know, whether they're tiny cheap ones or Bellas or my Cat Proof, whatever I end up using, I'm going to try it because I do want to see if it makes my diamond painting faster. Now, what do I want to get out of this method? I want to get out of it that I can diamond paint faster. I have so many projects that I want to do, and if I could do something that would really speed up my diamond painting, that would be great. I don't know how much it will speed up my diamond painting. I want to say if it's, you know, 15-20% faster, then that's definitely a win, and I need to switch over to this method. If it's less than that, is it worth it? I think that will be a personal decision. But I do want to test it out. The other thing is that the reason I haven't done it before now is, one, having watched other people do it, and I've seen people who've ordered, there's a place on Instagram, I can't think of their name. If I can find it, I will stick it down here, that makes essentially what they call some kind of, I think they call it a credenza, where it's just a big plastic tower like this. It might, I don't know what it's made of. I'm pretty sure it's plastic. It'd be horrendous to ship if it wasn't. And it comes with, I think, like 60 trays, and they provide the trays and they're all numbered and you can get your name on the outside and all of that. If you want to be super fancy, because it's several $100s, I think. I know Bella Art de Nicole, and I'm assuming other people, possibly Cat Proof, 3D print towers that will fit their trays. So you can go that route. That's one of the reasons I haven't done it before, and kind of why I was deciding to do this on the cheap. I actually probably wouldn't have bought as many Cat Proof trays, except my lovely husband offered to make it I think it was my anniversary gift, if he hadn't offered to purchase them for me. That being said, again, I've told you guys before, I could go out and buy all Bella trays and do something else and he wouldn't care. But anyway, this is how I decided to do it. So I'm going to try it. If I can get a 15 to 20% increase in time, then I'm going to do that. How am I going to determine that? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a diamond painting and I'm going to pick a release paper section. You guys know that I typically cover my diamond paintings with release papers. I will take, it's usually a 4x6 section, I think, so slightly larger than this. Cover the diamond painting in release papers, pick off a section, diamond paint one my regular way using my containers and time it, and then I will diamond paint using this method on a separate section. Now, there are some variables that I just can't account for. Obviously, I can't do the exact same section over if I've already diamond painted it. I am going to try and pick sections of the canvas that have a similar amount of confetti versus color blocking. Like, I'm not going to test, you know, my regular method on a huge color blocking section and then test this method on a confetti heavy section. I will try to make those balance out. They will be the same size because I will be using the release paper to determine the size, and we'll just see how it goes. So yeah, I'll be reporting back on how it goes. And when I report back, we'll see. If it goes really well, then I probably should invest in a tower and a bunch of trays to make this method work. One of the reasons that I think I've avoided this is because I have already sunk quite a bit of money into quote unquote trays, not diamond painting trays, but my Elizabeth Ward trays, the storage cabinet for my Elizabeth Ward trays. I have, at last count, 5 or 6 of my 60 bottle cases. I have my little 28 1-inch grid QB storage that I love to use. And it just feels bad to abandon all of that. Because if I'm just going to kit it up directly into trays, then why do I need all of that storage? Stickers and all of that kind of stuff that goes along with it. I'm still going to need some way to label all of my trays and everything in the tower. But, you know, that, again, abandoning all of my Elizabeth Ward trays and other things, other storage that I have enjoyed, feels bad. Feels like a waste of money. And then I'm going to switch to this method. But I do need to remember, if the goal is that I diamond paint faster and this is what's going to let me do that, then that's probably what I need to do. So stay tuned. I'm going to do some testing and I'll be back with some results. So see you in a bit. Okay guys, you can see here how I've got the tower set up. I have taken out every other slot. So I've got the little pieces here that I can put back in, that I've just set aside for now. I've got the cat-proof trays in most of it. And then I left in this last one for the small slots. The large Bella trays actually fit in there nicely. So if I wanted to use this tray tower, I could order some more Bella trays and it would work. And I'll link to the tower in the description down below. I just bought it off of Amazon and it was, I think, $30, $35, something like that. So the cat-proof trays work if I take out every other one. Again, nothing against cat-proof. This is entirely me not measuring and paying attention before I ordered things. But anyway, and you can see up at the top, I've managed to fit 3 of the small Bella trays. Only 2 of the cat-proof fit because they're a bit larger, but that's okay. This is how I'm going to make it work for now. I don't have any more of the large Bella trays. I've only got these. I've got one more white one that I may or may not fit in here either. But I realized after I filmed the first part, I forgot to tell you my hesitations. I mentioned my hesitation is that I'm clumsy and I'm afraid I'm going to spill. The other thing is, which is kind of an addendum to that, where I have my diamond painting workspace set up, I do not have a wall where I can brace this tower against. So it's just going to be sitting on the edge of my table workspace, and I'm afraid I'm just going to knock the whole thing over into the floor. Now, all of these trays have lids, so even if that happened, it should minimize the damage. But you guys, I'm just clumsy, and so that's one of the reasons. Now, and it's all on me. I don't have small children running around my house. I don't have pets running around my house currently. I do have my clumsy self. And because of where I have my workspace located, it is not in the greatest walk space flow. So occasionally people clip it with their hip and things walking by. Not too often, but it does happen. So we'll see how all that goes, and I'll be able to report back on how this worked, whether I preferred the Bella trays or the cat proof, how I like the tower setup, if I'd rather have something that was specifically made for the different kinds of trays, and what I'm going to do. Because I can see, again, if this makes a significant difference to the time in how quickly I diamond paint, because I'm not having to open and pour back and close containers all the time, then it's definitely an investment that is going to be worth it for me. It may not be worth it for you, but it will be for me. And so I will need to, if this does work the way I'm hoping, I'll need to go through and kind of figure out, you know, what I want to do. If it's going to be cheaper for me to get a cat-proof tray or tower, if they make those, or if I want to go the Bella route, or if I want to have one of each, because, you know, a lot of my paintings have 60 plus colors. So how many am I going to need? How many towers am I going to need to get so that I have enough trays to do, because I typically have more than one painting on the go at a time, and how's all that going to work? More to come, stay tuned. To begin the test, I made stickers for the colors that I would be putting in the trays. At the time of the test, I was working on Phoebe and Beauregard by Diamond Art Club. The entire left-hand side of the canvas was a large piece of seaweed with the colors and the amount of color blocking versus confetti being very similar. So I decided to use that portion of the canvas for my testing. I picked out the colors that I would need, and I loaded them up into the trays and then into the tower. I already had the kitted up in one of my Elizabeth Ward container trays, so I just split the drills between the trays going into the tower and the containers in the Elizabeth Ward tray. Once I had all the drills I would need loaded into the cat-proof trays and labeled, I was ready to start testing. I had part of the drills in my Elizabeth Ward tray and the drills I would need for testing labeled and placed in the tower. To begin the test, I started out using my regular method. So I used my Elizabeth Ward containers and one drill tray, pouring my drills back and forth between the containers and the tray. I used a release paper section so that all the sections would be the same size, and I also used the same glue dot and pen throughout the testing. I decided that I would single place everything, so that if there were differing amounts of multi-placing within each section, that would be negated. Since I would be single placing everything, it would theoretically all be the same. I then timed how long it took me to complete one section using my regular diamond painting method. And it took me 1 hour and 18 minutes to complete the first section. For the next section, I would test the tray and tower method. So I used the same glue dot, the same pen, and I single placed everything in that section as well. I pulled the trays from the tower as needed and did not have to pour the drills from the containers to my drill tray and back again. For this section, after I finished it, I completed it in 1 hour and 22 minutes, which means it actually took 4 minutes longer than my regular method. I thought maybe this might be due to my unfamiliarity with the tower method, so I decided to keep testing. The first section using my regular method was faster than usual for me because it usually takes me around 2 hours for a section, but I decided that was probably due to the fact that there wasn't a ton of confetti in the sections, which was the reason that I picked them to test in the first place. So I went back to my original method and I completed another section, single placing all of the drills. This section only took me 1 hour and 20 minutes to complete. So it was longer than my first section with the regular method by 2 minutes, but it was still 2 minutes faster than I had gone using the tower and tray method. So I completed a fourth section. This time, however, I decided to pull out all of the colors that I would need, remove the lids from the trays, and then have them kind of splayed out on my workspace so that it would eliminate the time wasted opening and closing the lids. Again, using the same pen, I single placed all the drills. It took me 1 hour and 22 minutes to complete the section. At this point, I gotta admit I was kind of discouraged because the tower tray method did not appear to be saving me any time at all. So after thinking about it, I decided I would run one more test. This time I would again complete 2 sections, one using my regular method and one using the tower tray method. But this time I would multi-place rather than just single place and see if that made any difference. So I multi-placed as much as I could in both sections. After completing both sections using the two different methods, my regular method took 1 hour and 2 minutes to complete the section. So I did shave off some time there from my 1 hour 18 minutes. The tray tower method took 1 hour and 1 minute to complete the section, so it was 1 minute faster than my regular method. Somewhat heartened by that, I sat down and looked over my results, thought about, anything that might have made a difference. So a couple of things to note. When I was multi-placing the last section using the tower tray method, I was running into a lot of drills that were stuck together. If that hadn't been the case, my time might have been even faster. And also throughout this entire kit, I was dealing with more static than usual, which may have also impacted the timing both of my regular method and the tower tray method. Some things that I noted that didn't affect the timing, but just things that I noted, the stickers that I had kept falling off of my trays. So I need to address that somehow because that's bad. While I was testing, I actually had one fall off and I had to go search to figure out what color it was. So that wasn't great. Also, some of the trays were very full, which meant when you shook the trays to try and get to the drills to multi-place or whatever, the whole bottom section of the tray is full because there's so many drills, and that made me wonder how that would work if I kitted up everything into trays, because I do a lot of large diamond paintings and some of them have a ton of colors. Now I could leave some in the bags and just, put one bag in one tray or whatever, but even at that, sometimes that's a lot. And then one last thing, my ever resourceful husband, when we discovered that the tower I'd purchased originally didn't really work with the cat-proof trays, went out and did some searching and found a tower that would work if I decided to go that route. It is another tower just like the one that I bought, but it's made to hold like ink stamp pads. It fits the size of the cat-proof trays better and would work. Is also something I could get from Amazon, which would be a little bit cheaper than going the route of some of the more expensive things like the chinkled one, or going through Bella or anybody else and buying 3D printed ones or whatever. So after all of those notes, I sat down and went back over my results because what I wanted from this was that the tower tray method was going to save me 10% or more. And did it? Well, no. For all except the last section where I did multi-placing, my regular method was faster. In section 1, where I used the regular method, it took me 1 hour 18 minutes. In section 2, using the tower tray method, it took me 1 hour 22. That's 5% more time for the tower method. Section 3, the regular method, took me 1 hour 20 minutes. In section 4, it took me 1 hour 22 minutes. So 3% more time. So it went down a little bit the second time. So perhaps familiarity with where the drills were placed. As you're working through a kit, you get used to which color is where that you need for which symbol. So I don't know if that had something to do with it or not, maybe. But still, even at that, it was taking me more time, which was complete opposite of what I was hoping to get. Once I did the multi-placing test, however, the numbers were a lot closer. Section 5, which was my regular method, but also using multi-placing, took 1 hour and 2 minutes. Section 6, which was the tower tray method, but using multi-placing, took me 1 hour and 1 minute, which meant that's 2% faster for the tower method, which 2% doesn't sound like a whole lot, and it's not anywhere near the 10% that I was hoping for. However, if you extrapolate all the numbers, it does add up. So in one section, using multi-placing, which is what I usually do, I was 2% faster, or 1 minute faster, and that's on one section. So if I was, for example, doing a kit that had 64 sections, that's 64 minutes possibly that I would save using the tower tray method and multi-placing. And saving 1 hour per painting is significant. I don't want to say it's not. It's an hour of time that I'm not spending diamond painting. But again, it's not the 10% or more in time savings that I was hoping to get. Especially because for me, I would need to invest some money in this method if I wanted to use it consistently. If I wanted to use this method, I would need to invest in additional trays. I only bought 20 trays, And a lot of my larger diamond paintings, you know, I've got 50, 60 colors, so I would need additional trays, so that's more expense. And then I would need the towers to put them in. You know, wherever I got them from, there would be additional expense that way. In addition, you know, I don't think I would be able to get away with just buying one tower. I would need multiple towers because, again, most of my kits are large, between 50 and 60 colors, which would mean I would need, you know, at least 4, maybe 6 towers and all of the trays to go in them, which is a significant chunk of change to drop on a method that's really not saving me that much time. And I gotta admit, I was surprised. I really thought and really hoped that this method would save me time. I know, you know, how much time it takes is not a big deal to most people. This is a hobby. We're doing it for enjoyment. I am also doing all of those things, but I do have a YouTube channel. I do have content that I need to produce, and I'm only one person with one pair of hands. So if I could get my hands to be faster, then that would lead me to more content and more things that I could share with you guys. Is it absolutely necessary? No, it's not, but it was just something I wanted to try. And I know there's lots of people out there who use this method and swear by it. I'm really kind of stuck again. I don't intend at this point to switch from my regular method over to the shower tray method. In my testing, it didn't save me enough time to justify all the additional expense that I would have to go to in order to switch over to that method. However, I am kind of, you know, a little taken aback by the fact that so many people who use this method, you know, swear it saves so much time. And I'm wondering if that's actually true, if that's just their perception, if anybody else has done any testing on this, or if I'm doing something wrong somehow. Is there's something in this system, a step somehow that I have missed that makes it faster, that I need to add into my testing to get that additional time savings? So you guys, that's my testing. Was it faster for me? Not really. 2% faster, which, you know, again, is not nothing, but it's not the significant time saving that I was hoping for. And, you know, again, given that I would need to invest some significant money into resources and equipment in order to switch over this method, it's just not worth it to me at this time. However, I'm really curious to hear from you guys who have used this method. Do you currently use it? Have you used it before? Am I missing a step? Does it save you time? If it does, is that something you've actually timed out, or is that just your perception that it saves you time? Because, I mean, it makes sense that it would save you time. You know, I'm not opening my containers, I'm not pouring them back into my drill tray, and then when I'm done, pouring that back into the container, pulling out the next color, etc., etc. Is it because this wasn't a confetti heavy section? I mean, there was some confetti. I don't want to say that it was all color blocking, but is it that it's much faster when it's a confetti heavy, and do I need to test it on a canvas like that? I'm now that I'm kind of thinking through this again, I'm wondering if maybe that's something that it had to do with it. Because like I said, I didn't really get any time savings at all until I added in the multi-placing. So I'm wondering if this is just a method that when you're doing a lot of very confetti heavy paintings, that it would make a significant time difference. And maybe that's something I need to test. I could look for some kits that I have that are pretty confetti heavy and test it that way. In fact, I may do that. But yeah, I would love to hear everybody else's thoughts. Leave me comments down below. Let me know, you know, your experiences, what you think I did right, what you think I did wrong. Just leave me a comment. Would love to know what you guys think, because as always, I am always searching for a way to do diamond painting better / faster. There are my results. I know this is a bit of a longer video. I hope this was interesting to you guys. If you would like to see more testing done like this, so you have an idea for something that I can test, also please leave me a comment down below. I do enjoy doing these testing videos. They take me a bit longer, and the videos themselves are a bit longer. So if that's something that would interest you guys, definitely let me know that. If you would be interested in me splitting them into multiple parts, if that would be of interest, Yeah, just give me feedback, guys. That's all I'm asking. I know this was a bit of a longer one, like I said, so thanks for sticking around till the end of the video. Before you leave, guys, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit the bell notification icon for future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.